Victoria stood in the doorway of her once warm home, eyes wide, as her eldest son, Daniel, screamed at her. Her heart broke as he shoved her aside, accusing her of ruining their lives. Her youngest, Clara, laughed while packing her things, joining their brother. Shock, betrayal, and disbelief struck her all at once. How could the children she raised turn against her so suddenly? The room felt cold and foreign. Victoria's lips trembled as a secret she had hidden for decades pressed against her chest, ready to change everything. Subscribe to follow Victoria's journey of courage and cunning. Victoria locked herself in her old bedroom, tears streaming silently. She touched the old family photo on her dresser, remembering the happy years. But a note tucked behind the frame hinted at a fortune she'd quietly amassed, invisible to everyone. She smiled faintly. Her children thought they had all the power, but they didn't know everything. Tonight, she would gather strength. A plan was forming in her mind, one that would make them regret underestimating her. Victoria discovered an encrypted bank statement from decades ago hidden in her wardrobe. The numbers were staggering, enough to live freely, independently, and above her children's petty schemes. She realized that revealing this wealth at the wrong moment could make them more hostile. She needed patience, cunning, and timing. But a shadow lurked outside her window, someone watching her. Did her children suspect? Or was it someone else? Victoria's neighbor, Mrs. Adeyemi, arrived unexpectedly. She noticed the tension in Victoria's face. "Something's wrong, Victoria. You look like the storm hit you." Victoria hinted at betrayal but didn't reveal too much. Mrs. Adeyemi's eyes widened as Victoria's trembling hand brushed an envelope. Could she be trusted? Victoria had to decide whether to confide in her only ally or face the storm alone. At breakfast, Daniel confronted her again, this time with police threats over supposed debts she never incurred. Victoria felt a cold rage rise. She calmly served him tea, hiding her fury. She noticed Clara's hesitant glance, a flicker of doubt. Victoria's secret was safe, for now. But the atmosphere was electric. One wrong word could explode into chaos. Victoria discovered old letters from her late husband, revealing that the children were manipulated by a distant relative. Betrayal layered upon betrayal. The man who influenced her children's hatred had died years ago, but the damage lingered. Victoria felt her resolve harden. Revenge wouldn't be cruel but precise, surgical. She would reclaim her home, her dignity, and her peace. Victoria hired a private investigator discreetly. Daniel and Clara started noticing unusual deliveries and calls. Suspicion crept into their minds. Victoria pretended to be broken, quiet, unassuming, but the private investigator uncovered secrets her children thought were buried forever. The first twist hit when Daniel accidentally revealed a hidden debt he had lied about. Victoria's knowledge of the truth left him uneasy. He began questioning Clara. A tiny crack in their alliance formed. Victoria's secret smiled silently from her safe. Victoria received a mysterious package containing an old family heirloom. The inscription revealed a hidden inheritance from her parents. This heirloom was proof of wealth, untouched by greedy hands. She knew revealing it now would ignite greed and paranoia. Daniel attempted to cut Victoria out of the family business entirely. Victoria, calm, presented old contracts proving her legal rights. Shock and humiliation flashed across his face. Her children began realizing they had underestimated her. Victoria's secret was surfacing slowly, like a wave gathering force. Victoria discovered Clara secretly wanted to reconcile, sending coded messages. Trust was fragile but possible. Victoria considered using Clara's doubts strategically to divide the siblings. Victoria's first confrontation with the distant relative's accomplice revealed shocking truths. The person manipulating her children had an accomplice still nearby. Victoria's fury surged, but she stayed composed, noting every weakness. A twist arrived when Victoria's health scare threatened to expose her vulnerability. Her children thought they had an advantage, but she used it to make them overconfident, setting them up for future shocks. Victoria invited her children to dinner under the guise of reconciliation. She subtly planted doubts between Daniel and Clara, using questions, half-truths, and memory triggers. Suspicion began to fester. Victoria found secret bank accounts her children were unaware of, funds she could use to reclaim control. She planned the timing carefully, waiting until they felt secure. A mysterious lawyer arrived at Victoria's door with legal documents validating her inheritance and undisclosed wealth. The children had no idea. Victoria's calm confidence grew. Victoria confronted her children at a public event subtly, exposing inconsistencies in their lies. Shock spread across their faces. The crowd sensed tension. Victoria's power was rising, silently and steadily. Daniel tried to enlist friends against Victoria. But Victoria had already gathered evidence of their betrayal. Each attempt they made only deepened their downfall. Clara confided privately in Victoria, admitting the truth of manipulation. Victoria now had one ally within the enemy camp. Plans accelerated. Victoria discovered old property titles she could reclaim. Wealth and independence were within her grasp, fueling her plan. Victoria sent anonymous messages exposing minor misdeeds of her children. Panic and paranoia spread among them. Their alliances began fracturing. Victoria revealed one small fortune to the press anonymously, making her children publicly realize she was untouchable. Daniel grew desperate, threatening legal action. Victoria responded with calm evidence, leaving him speechless. Clara began questioning her brother's morality. Victoria nurtured her doubts while keeping her secret intact. Victoria visited the lawyer to transfer legal ownership of key assets quietly. Her children discovered the changes too late. Victoria orchestrated a small scandal for Daniel, using the evidence she had gathered. Public embarrassment and loss of influence taught him a lesson. Clara began reconciling with Victoria but cautiously. Trust was fragile but possible. Victoria revealed a major secret, a hidden trust fund they had all ignored. Shock rippled through the family. Daniel attempted to manipulate Clara into betraying Victoria. Victoria had anticipated this. Victoria met with community elders who vouched for her character and past sacrifices. She regained public sympathy. Victoria revealed another layer of her secret, investments her children had no knowledge of. Wealth, power, and influence surged into her control. Daniel tried one last desperate move, attempting to seize assets. Victoria's careful planning foiled him completely. Clara finally admitted she regretted her actions and apologized. Victoria forgave, showing strength over cruelty. Victoria revealed her final secret to the world. She had protected the family legacy while her children sought to destroy her.